Press conference by Foreign Minister Hayashi will begin. Please go ahead. I have two items at the top. From tomorrow, March 18th to the 22nd, I will be visiting the Solomon Islands and Cook Islands, both Pacific Island nations. The Pacific Island nations are strategically very important regions as we try to secure regional stability and peace. Visits to these countries will be the first ever visits to these countries by the Japanese Foreign Minister and will be the first visit to the Polynesian region. The Solomon Islands were an intense battlefield in the previous World War. They have overcome that history. They are a friendly country with whom we have established friendship and goodwill. I'm going to make a courtesy call to Prime Minister Sogavare and have a meeting with Foreign Minister Manele. The Cook Islands this year is serving the presidency of the Pacific Island Forum, and I intend to meet with Prime Minister Brown, who also serves as the Foreign Minister. Through this visit, I will engage in frank exchange of views for the establishment of relationship and development of the relationship with both countries and confirm the reinforcement of the collaboration through free and open Indo-Pacific.
Second item regarding North Korea. Since last year, they have been continuing a series of provocations, repeating at an unprecedented frequency and manner the launch of ballistic missiles. On the 18th last month, they launched ICBM-class ballistic missiles, which dropped in the Sea of Japan's EEZ. Yesterday, on the 16th, they launched ICBM-class ballistic missile. They pose serious and imminent threats to Japan's security. At the same time, they threaten the peace and stability of the region and the entire international community. It cannot be condoned at all. Against that backdrop, as Japan's additional measures against North Korea to comprehensively solve such issues as abduction, nuclear and missile matters, their cabinet approved additionally designating 3 individuals as the target of freezing of target assets based on the effects and foreign trade law, as they were involved in nuclear missile development, which are banned in the Security Council resolutions concerning North Korea. We urge them to take specific actions concerning the abduction nuclear missiles, and we will continue to closely collaborate between Japan-US ROK, and also with the international community to seek the denuclearization of North Korea.
We will take questions. When appointed, please proceed to the microphone and identify yourself and affiliation. Iwasawa-san, NHK. NHK Iwasawa. On your foreign visit, which you mentioned at the top, you mentioned that you will engage in dialogue towards the realization of FOIP. What about the assistance by Japan and Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station upstreated water released to the Maro? And also, the Japanese government wants to strengthen the engagement with Global South. So how do you evaluate the importance of your visit? The sea lane that connects Japan and Australia and the sea lane that connects the Indian Ocean, the South China Sea, and the Pacific cross in the area of the Pacific Island nations, and therefore they are a strategically very critical region to secure regional stability and peace. The sustainable development of Pacific Island nations, who are very important partners in the international community, are important from the perspective of FOIP. And through the collaboration, through bilateral ties, the Pacific Island Summit, and with like-minded nations, we will continue to support the integrity and the development of these countries. At the upcoming visit, I will engage in candid exchange of views for further development of bilateral ties with the leaders of the Solomon Islands and the Cook Islands, and confirm the strengthening of the collaboration towards the realization of FOIP and discuss regional matters. And through face-to-face communication that is considered to be very important by the Pacific Island nations, we truly hope to establish a robust confidence between these two nations. Japan is further strengthening the dialogue with the Pacific Island nations on upstreated water, and we will continue thorough explanation based upon science with a high level of transparency. And in the upcoming visit, I will engage in thorough explanation on the position of the Japanese government regarding safety.
Mainichi Takeuchi-san, please. Mainichi Takeuchi. Yesterday, summit meeting was held between ROK and Japan. I have a question on this. At high level, Japan, ROK, China process, the early restart, there was agreement. What kind of process do you envisage for the three countries? And Japan, China, South Korea summit, which has been suspended. What's the outlook? Japan, China, South Korea, regarding the specific process and timetable, yesterday at the ROK Japan Summit, while looking at that first, at the working level of the three countries, do we plan to address this appropriately?
Ueda-san, Kyodo. Ueda of Kyodo News. I also have a question on Japan-ROK relationship. Yesterday, the summit had taken place, and there was agreement reached on the security dialogue and Vice Minister's strategic dialogue. What would be the timing? And separate from the official dinner, there was, between the leaders, there was the foreign ministers' dinner. What was discussed? ROK is an important neighbor with whom we must cooperate as we respond to various international challenges, especially in the context of response to North Korea. As we perceive the current strategic environment, it is, of course, necessary to engage in close cooperation between Japan and ROK and Japan-US ROK. At yesterday's summit, the leaders agreed to promote cooperation that would benefit both countries and vitalize communication between the governments in all areas, including politics, economy, and culture. And for the time being, they concurred to, at the earliest possible timing, resume the Japan-ROK security dialogue and Vice Minister strategic dialogue. And based upon the discussion yesterday at the summit, we will engage in coordination to decide the timing. In order to establish a personal trust between the foreign ministers, we engaged in informal and closed dinner. The purpose of this dinner was to socialize with each other. We didn't engage in discussion on any specific topic.
Hazumerita-san, the last question.
Thank you, Patron, for the Allgemeine Zeitung. Hayashi-san, two questions, please. One is on the relations ROK, South Korea and Japan. President Yoon today asked for a scientific study on the security of releasing the Fukushima water into the Pacific. Do I have to take that as a sign that there is missing trust between Korea and Japan? And the second question, tomorrow you have this huge summit meeting between Japan and Germany with 2 heads of governments and 6 ministers on each side, which is a first for Japan to do it in that format. What do you expect from this huge gathering happening tomorrow?
Regarding the first question, Japan-South Korea summit meeting, as I shared with you already, on various issues between the two countries, various exchanges took place. As for the details, those are diplomatic exchanges. I'd like to refrain from mentioning them. Also, on the 18th, tomorrow, Chancellor Scholz from Germany and also the cabinet ministers, we are going to have the consultation meeting between the two governments On various issues, the purpose is to promote cooperation between the two countries. The top leaders and several ministers participate. It's a new consultation framework. April last year, when the summit meeting took place between Germany and Japan, it was confirmed to be launched. Chancellor Scholz, who served as the G7 presidency last year, and between him and Prime Minister Kishida, through these consultation meetings between Germany, which is a very important partner with whom we share the basic values, in addition to the economic security, in addition to the collaboration for G7 summit, we hope that we can deepen the cooperation even further. This concludes the press conference. Thank you.